What's up, YouTube? It's Ben. Today I want to make a video. It's going to basically be about, the topic is starting out small. Okay, so yesterday I posted my first video to YouTube, and I can't tell you how long I've been thinking about doing this, thinking about making a YouTube channel, talking about it with my girlfriend, talking about it with my son. Actually, it was his idea that we just get it started. And so we made Pandemic Chronicles. I just called it Pandemic Chronicles because we're in the middle of the coronavirus pandemic. And as a perfect starter topic, why not rant about the coronavirus response? So you could go check that video out. I just did that yesterday. But here's the important lesson of the day. It has nothing to do with the coronavirus, right? The important lesson of the day is starting out small. I decided I had this stuff on my mind. I wanted to get it off. And I do like to rant sometimes because that's what me and my friends do. We rant. Social media is not the place to do it. I mean, look, I have nothing against people spilling the beans, like spilling out their feelings on social media. As long as they're not airing out too much dirty laundry, if you know what I mean. Venting. That's a very normal thing. And social media, what better place in front of an audience, right? Venting. This is what YouTube is. It's like venting in front of an audience. The thing about social media, or in particular Facebook, that I've discovered I don't like, if this is what you do, like you like to air out and share things and emotions and feelings, they shadow ban. And by shadow ban, I don't just mean they're shadow banning people who are discussing politically sensitive topics or socially sensitive topics. They literally shadow ban like every single person. Because if you haven't noticed this, like I've discovered this personally, when I click on somebody's profile, I see all sorts of content that they've posted, all sorts of things that they've shared. Whether it's like a post, a picture, or an image, it's something they wrote themselves. It's like, I don't see that stuff until I actually hop on their profile. So Facebook is censoring essentially, and I'm not saying that they're like intentionally, like there's somebody at the computer actually like censoring everything you say, but maybe algorithms or something. They're just like, you don't actually see a lot of the content people are putting out. So you might put something and you think, oh, like I want everybody to see this, and then you get like 1 or 2 or 3 likes or something. Well, that's why, because you're getting filtered out. Anyhow, starting small. This is the concept of video. So I decided to go at it and make my first video. And when I did it, I realized it was imperfect. As a person, I'm a perfectionist. I like to make things like really thought out. Make sure like I've corrected my mistakes. I've you know, caught things so other people don't catch me slipping, and then I'm like, oh, I look like an idiot. I don't want to look like a dumb guy. I want to look like a smart guy because I consider myself intelligent, reasonably intelligent. I like to do my research. And by research, you know, like check things out, fact check things before I speak. And it's like that saying, you know, you have 2 ears, you got 1 mouth. You got to listen twice. This is why I like listening in interviews and reading and doing stuff like that, okay? But as far as I'm concerned, I wanted to make a video. I wanted to make a YouTube channel. And I do still have grand ideas and designs in my mind about how I would like to make a YouTube channel and what kinds of things. In fact, I didn't envision myself in the car recording myself on a freaking cell phone. I imagine myself in front of like a computer or a laptop designing really cool videos and graphics and talking about historical things. And maybe I'll still get around to doing that. Maybe I'll do some blogging or vlogging where I'm out in nature and I'm like on some trip or vacation or something. I might get to that point, but here's the thing. You got to start out somewhere. So once you start something out, you get into a groove, a cycle. So perfect example, working out. Whenever I start working out, and I do go through little phases where I'm just busy in life and I'm not doing the working out as much as I probably should, and I start eating probably not ideally, and you know, gain a little weight and things like that. But when I get into what I'm saying is, when I want to work out, I don't just go full on into the gym and I just start like hitting all the weights and all the machines and everything and expect like this like colossal effort and like maximum results and maximum feedback right away. What I literally do is I like take a jog. I might even just take a walk the first day, take a jog, and then wait a day, or maybe the next day, go on another jog, start doing push-ups. Just, it can even be like 30 push-ups. Do some squats, just a little bit of stuff here and there. And then I start to like add more and more on. And then you get into a groove and all of a sudden it's like, you find yourself, it's like easy to do this. It's like very easy to work out. And you've started like picking up new techniques and new exercises. You're watching all these Instagram what do they call them? Influencers. Or YouTube channels, or you might have a weight trainer, or you ask somebody who knows, like, they're obviously like in shape and they know their stuff. This idea of starting out small, it applies to everything. Like if you're somebody who's an aspiring artist and you want to get to that point where you're submitting art to like shows, you got to start somewhere. If you're somebody who wants to start a home-based business or like start a small business, you got to start somewhere. I used to run a pool route, and with that, I literally went from passing out flyers on people's doorsteps to be like, I was making like $5,000-$6,000 after expenses, like profit. And maybe to you that, oh, that's not much money. But for me, the guy like started out from nowhere, I literally built a business from scratch. I did it small. I started out small. I'm now gonna start writing a book, and I literally have like notes scribbled on like paper and on my girlfriend's laptop about like what the main idea of the book is. But I'm not rushing in right now to do it. I have a lot going on right now, but I intend to get to that point. So what I wanted to do was talk a little bit about successful people like Richard Branson and Bill Gates. Also Amazon CEO. Look, all these guys and people like them, they started out small. A lot of them started out in a garage. That's how Apple got started, right? So here's a good article from a blogger. I'm gonna show you right now. Give me a sec. All right, so it's buffer.com. It's by Joel Gascoigne. He's a blogger. And this is from 6 years ago, but he still has updated content. The habits of successful people, they start out small. Okay, so bear with me here. I just want to kind of get through this really quick, but it's really hitting the point I'm trying to make. He says, the other day I was listening to Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People, and I found it amazing how this book, which has now sold over 15 million copies, originally started. He says, I prepared a short talk. I called it How to Win Friends and Influence People. I say short, it was short in the beginning, but it soon expanded to a lecture that consumed 1 hour and 30 minutes. After giving this talk for some time, Carnegie found that the attendees started discussing their experiences and some rules emerged. Eventually, the talk became a course, and there was a need for a textbook of sorts. Here's how the now infamous book became a reality. Or the now famous, my bad. We started with a set of rules printed on a card no larger than a postcard. The next season, we printed a larger card, then a leaflet, then a series of booklets, each one expanding in size and scope. After 15 years of experimentation and research came this book. I found that absolutely fascinating. The book came out of a short talk and a few notes on a postcard-sized piece of card. Interestingly, I think a lot of really big successes start out like this. The dangers of big. Okay, before I read this, just want to... This is what basically what he's going to say, and this is what I was going to say, is we tend to look at around us and see like really successful people and big concepts, big ideas, you know, like a fabulous store, like clothing designers, whatever it is we see. Even like cars, right? Everything started out small. The car itself, perfect example. It's not one invention. It's literally like hundreds of inventions put together, coalesced into one to make what we know as the automobile. And that's what we all rely on to transport ourselves around. You ever see that meme or that picture? It's like an iceberg and you see the top. And that's like the fabulous stuff you see, like the end result. But underneath, it's like all that hard work that it took to get there. All those years of evolution. So this is what he's going to get at. It says the dangers of thinking big. The challenge for a lot of us is that when we go about our lives, we interact with so many big things, we forget and don't even know how they originally started. It's difficult to understand how the evolutionary process, because everything is an evolutionary process, right? It all develops over time, of products and brands contributes and is vital to what they are today. We also have big aspirations and want to get there fast. We all do. We have big aspirations. You want that six-pack, you want that miracle body? Dude, it takes effort. But you got to start with like literally a walk, a jog, some push-ups, and then you move up, you move up, you move up. He says, I've personally made the mistake of trying to jump too big too soon. Many times before, the goal of my previous startup was to kill the business card, and we struggled to execute effectively on a much smaller scale. I think there are probably countless other examples out there where founders try to have an immediate huge vision. Great things start small. What I'm starting to notice more and more is that great things almost always start small. Most of us know that Richard Branson started the Virgin brand with a student magazine, but Virgin is just one of many examples which shows that the reality is counterintuitive. Actually, the best thing we know and love started out as tiny things. I found that as I look into my own life, I find similarly that some of the most important achievements I've made start out as little projects. Buffer itself is a great example. That's his blog. It started out as a 2-page website, and the short blog post describing this process has turned into a talk I've given more than 30 times. Make it smaller, you're more likely to succeed. Again, you can find this article online where he's just basically ranting about starting small and then succeeding. It's okay, the guy's name is Joel Gascoigne. Okay, look him up. Gascoigne. I just want to give credit where it's due. But oh my God, here's one other thing I want to say. Again, starting small. I'm a perfectionist, okay? I think, oh man, I could have done all these things. But here's the thing, and this is why this is so powerful. This is the main idea I want to hammer home here, is that as long as you're doing something, you have room to improve. You can't improve on something that doesn't exist, right? So like an automobile, back to the automobile concept. I mean, it started out with like horse-drawn carriages, and then it was like a simple engine, and it didn't have like a top or anything. I mean, there weren't seat belts. It evolved over time to the cars we have today, which are supercars. And you know, the point is you have to have something to improve. And so with these videos, which I just started doing, which is like fun. It's actually really fun to do this. The point I wanted to make was that if I look back and I say, you know what, I shouldn't have said that, or I should have said this, dang, why didn't I add this in? Here's the beauty of that, of not having it be perfect. It literally, listen, it gives you room to elaborate in further videos. So in other words, more YouTube content. I could come back and make a part 2 or a part 3 to whatever it was I was saying and elaborate on that concept. And that's what I plan to do in several of my videos. So that's it. All I want to say is, A, start out small. That's how all big things began, small. Just move. Like whatever it is you're doing, start. And like every day, just build a little bit. It's all evolution. And then third, if you have to come back, that's a beautiful thing. You're gonna say to yourself, oh, I'm a perfectionist. Oh, like I wanted to prepare everything. I wanted all the stats and figures and articles and everything. And like for my video, what I'm doing, it's like, okay, but I could literally elaborate in another video, and then that would be more YouTube content, more videos to do. Anyways, that's my point. It's those things. Start small, build, and come back. Just keep trying, keep hustling, keep pushing forward, no matter what it is. Oh, and shout out to my friend on Facebook who was beginning homesteading, starting out small. He was saying, I said, what did you do? He's like, hey, I'm taking little steps. That's a whole nother process, but we can make another video on that later. Anyways, so that's my video for the day. Cheers.